officials prepare from the Florida Panhandle to the Texas coast.
We never turn our back on a system in the Gulf.
Ahead of Tropical Storm Bertha, a man was taken into custody.
Walked in front of the building, threw them out, and set it on fire.
After an explosion outside an ICE office. And a man decides he's not letting Parkinson slow him down.
Keep up the fight.
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Paula Sirignano.
And I'm Julian Scott. Today is Tuesday, July 21st, 2026.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Communities all along the Gulf Coast, including some in Florida, are on high alert this morning as we continue to track Tropical Storm Bertha. The Panhandle is on high alert as Tropical Storm Bertha is making its way over to the coast.
That's right, and WEAR's Caplin Welch has more on the story.
Blue skies and calm surf won't be sticking around much longer.
Lately, in the last couple of updates, we're starting to see some deep convection starting to wrap around the center, which we hadn't formed up until this point. So we're starting to see the system get a little bit better organized, but right now it's still only about 1,005 millibars, which is a relatively weak system. It's trying to get its act together. It's not there just yet.
For local businesses like Making Time Fishing Charter, business relies on calm seas.
Well, these things are kind of expected, but we don't like it. But it'll probably knock out a couple days for us. And, every day out here counts because you can't make them up for sure, So once everybody goes home from vacation, then you lose those days and they don't come back,
Many boats hit the water Monday morning, including Bill Harrison. He's been fishing the waters in Northwest Florida for 15 years.
When we first left out around 6 a.m. It was actually nice and smooth. Then the wind started kicking up around 7:30. Then we started having a real hard pushing wind around 8. And then it just progressively got stronger as it came along. So luckily I went east and made it a good drive home, a good trip home.
Patrick Maddox is the director of public safety for Okaloosa County. He says the best advice he can give: stay alert.
Don't discount the storm until the threat is past. We never turn our back on a system in the Gulf. So just in case things were to change, we didn't expect much from Sally when it came through, and next thing you know, we're getting a phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning saying, hey, what are you guys doing? Might want to wake up. It's going to change. So never turn your back on a storm until the threat is past, and always use any system like this as a walkthrough, as a rehearsal for when you actually have to activate.
President Donald Trump spoke with Britain's new Prime Minister Andy Burnham yesterday. The two leaders discussed trade, the situation in the Middle East, and the military alliance between the United States and the United Kingdom. After the call, President Trump posted on social media that he expects to meet with Burnham in the near future and expressed confidence in his leadership for Britain.
President Trump has raised trade tensions with Canada with a new tariff. The president is invoking a 1930 trade law that allows tariffs of up to 50% with congressional approval if a country is found discriminating against American goods. The tariffs would apply to some Canadian goods, including electrical equipment and machinery, while minerals, fish, and energy products would be exempt.
A man is in custody after he allegedly threw an incendiary device in front of a federal building in New York City, injuring 3 people. CNN's Cheryl Hubbard has more on the story.
An incendiary device was thrown at a federal building in Manhattan Monday. Authorities say they have the man responsible for it in custody.
So I see this guy throwing what looked like little canisters and just walked in front of the building, threw them out, and set it on fire.
He poured gasoline onto the ground and ignited it with a lighter and an incendiary device. That device was a firework.
The FBI says 43-year-old Andrew Arabaka then pulled out an airsoft rifle and fired 5 to 7 pellets in the direction of the federal building before a Federal Protective Service officer took him down. The incident unfolded around 8:30 Monday morning at a federal building that houses offices for government agencies like the FBI and also Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The FBI says Arabaka came armed with bad intentions.
He had 2 axes, a hammer, a machete, and 3 knives.
A law enforcement source says Arabaka was pulling a cart containing 2 rifles, fireworks, and anti-ice materials as well. The NYPD says he had a sign that read, "Ice off our streets." Once a U.S. Army soldier serving 2001 to 2005, authorities now describe Arabaka as an extremist.
This is just another example of someone, attacking ICE.
because of the constant mismessaging and vilification of the men and women of ICE.
Federal authorities say one civilian suffered injuries as well as 2 government employees. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in the Philippines this morning. The State Department says Rubio will attend meetings hosted by the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, focused on this year's theme, Navigating Our Future Together. He's also scheduled to meet with senior officials from countries across the Indo-Pacific region.
A Florida woman gets an unexpected visit from a scaly predator yesterday as a 7'6" gator showed up right outside her front door. Cheryl Wynn thankfully was able to see the threat before opening the door from her house patio camera. She even heard the gator as it preyed outside her house.
We were scared, terrified. At one point, when he was getting kind of agitated with the flashlight in his eye, he actually looked right up at me in my eyes and he started opening his mouth and he was growling and hissing.
Sierra then called the police department as they swiftly removed the gator from the community. No injuries were reported.
An Iowa man isn't letting Parkinson's diagnosis slow him down. Instead, he's turning his journey into an inspiration for others living with the disease. 74-year-old Bruce Sneeden was diagnosed with Parkinson's 7 years ago. Rather than letting the disease define him, he made a commitment to stay active through daily walks. On workdays, he often logs as many as 30,000 steps, saying exercise helps him manage his symptoms and keep a positive outlook.
There is hope. There is, at this point, there is no cure. There is hope for one. There's research being done on it all the time. I'm helping with some studies on it at the University of Iowa. I'm one of the lab rats. And keep up the fight.
On Saturday, Sneeden reached a remarkable milestone by walking 100,000 steps in a single day. He says his biggest motivation is his grandchildren and hopes his story encourages others with Parkinson's to keep moving forward.
And after weeks of searching, firefighters were finally able to rescue a small dog that had been swimming in San Francisco Bay. According to Menlo Park Fire Protection District, the dog had gone missing over the 4th of July weekend, where after entering the bay, it, quote, just kept swimming. At least 2 trucks, a boat, and an airboat were mobilized during the rescue, where it was able to finally be rescued half a mile off the shore.
An epic opening weekend for Christopher Nolan's new movie.
That's still ahead. In entertainment news, and so is the story.
I've fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died.
Moviegoers are going to once again assemble at the theater for a huge Marvel blockbuster. The trailer just came out. Paola's got you with the scene coming up next.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
assemble for the entertainment segment we call The Scene. Now guys, today Doomsday is coming, but how do we know that? Because Marvel has officially released the trailer for Avengers Doomsday. Now this first trailer gives fans their first look at Robert Downey Jr. as Marvel's biggest big bad, Dr. Doom. The trailer also puts the spotlight on Chris Hemsworth's Thor, as he warns the Avengers about a threat not only to them, but the entire multiverse.
I've fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died.
You can't tell me that does not look like cinema. Now this movie comes with a star-studded cast from Pedro Pascal to Channing Tatum. Are you ready to see this showdown between some of Marvel's biggest heroes? Because I know I am. Tickets are on sale now, and Doomsday will come for us all on December 18th. Christopher Nolan is proving that lightning can strike twice. After the success of Oppenheimer, his latest epic, The Odyssey, is off to a record-setting start. The film earned an estimated $264 million worldwide on its opening weekend. It's the biggest global debut of Nolan's career.
It's pretty humbling to realize, you know, I spent my whole career people going, oh, this is very adventurous, you know, non-linear structures and everything. And then you go back to the oldest text that we have, literary text, and it's radical in its structure, in a really engaging and exciting way.
Now, fun fact, the film was shot entirely with 17mm IMAX cameras. If you haven't seen one, they literally made a popcorn bucket out of one. This film also has its own star-studded cast, including Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, and Marvel's Tom Holland and Zendaya. And if you're watching the Emmys this year, there will be some big changes coming. The Television Academy says only 19 awards will be presented during the live broadcast. Producers have cut several supporting, acting, writing, and directing categories from the telecast. The move is intended to make the show more engaging, but labor groups, including SAG-AFTRA, say it diminishes the work of industry professionals. And Netflix is pulling back the curtain on how it's using artificial intelligence. The streamer says about 300 titles released this year use generative AI during production. Netflix execs also said the technology helped create larger crowds, battle scenes, and other visual effects. They stress that AI is meant to support creators, but not replace them. And if you stream your music through Apple, you may notice a higher bill this month. Apple Music has raised its subscription prices for the first time since 2022. The company blames music licenses, which is getting quite pricey. Those of you who have individual and student plans now have $1 more per month, while those with family plans have increased by $3. Now, remember last week's mention of attempts to block a major Hollywood merger? Well, it looks like the merger has hit a roadblock. A judge has temporarily halted Paramount's proposed merger with Warner Bros. Discovery for 2 weeks. This comes after a lawsuit from 12 states claiming that the deal would violate antitrust laws. A hearing has been scheduled for August 3rd to decide whether the merger should remain on hold, while Paramount says it will fight the challenge in court. Now, you're watching Newsbreak, and don't miss us too much because we'll be right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Julian Lascano.
And I'm Paula Ciriñano, and you can get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.